everyone. Thank you for joining us for what I hope is one of the most exciting topics in these 2 days. We're going to talk about Web3 and AI. Obviously, unless you've been living under a rock for the past 12 to 18 months, you will have seen the progression of AI in everyday lives. We went from something that was purely technical for several years to something that was very easy to use for the audiences, for 90% of the population. And we've seen this now come into the blockchain space. And what we're going to talk about today is how AI has come into the blockchain space. Is it just a hype? Is this just replacing the blockchain hype with AI hype? Or are we now talking about something that's long-lasting, that will create a long-term relationship in every single use case in your everyday life? And most importantly, will it help with blockchain adoption? Joining me today is Johnny Corduneanu. He's advisor of the CEO at Therme Group. We have Aydin Kilic, who's the president and CEO at HIVE Digital Technologies. And we have Whit, Dhamer, founder, CEO at Delta Compute. I'd like you first to maybe introduce yourselves, introduce your project, give it a bit of an overview, how you got to this space, and where the AI and blockchain merges, or where just AI merges and comes into blockchain in your current project.
So I'm the first. Okay, I'm Johnny Corduneanu. Therme Group is not what you see regularly here at the blockchain convention. We are a group from visitor economy, from travel and tourism, and we build and operate large-scale hot water resorts in excess of 1 million visitors per year with palm trees and very, very nice water slides, so on and so forth. So what are we doing here with blockchain and AI? Well, we're very concerned for a while, that means for a number of years, about the climate change, and we're determined to become carbon negative, and we tried to offset our carbon footprint through regular channels, and we reached to the conclusion that it's not enough. So researching with other people from University of Surrey, we got to a new mechanism. We call it carbon tokenomics model. It's a new way of doing business, which will access the retail financing market for green finance. And this project, which aims to decarbonize not just us, but the entire visitor economy, needed an infrastructure. And the infrastructure which ensures transparency and reliability and security is blockchain. And in order to operate at such a scale, we needed AI. And I'll tell you more about this project and other projects we're having involving blockchain and AI at the same time.
Hi, can you guys hear me in the back? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So my name is Aydin Kilic. I'm the president and CEO of HIVE Digital. So HIVE is actually the first public crypto miner ever. It went public in 2017 on the TSXV in Canada, and today we're listed on the NASDAQ and the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. So at one point, we were one of the world's largest Ethereum miners with 120,000 GPUs operating in Sweden in one site. And today, we're a little under 1% of the global Bitcoin mining network with about 50,000 ASICs in Canada, Sweden, and Iceland. What's unique about HIVE, we're an innovation company. We're a data center infrastructure company, really having run Bitcoin mining ASICs and Ethereum mining GPUs. We've done a lot of different things. And after the Ethereum merge, we actually pivoted to take the GPUs, specifically the NVIDIA GPUs, and we took those and repopulated them in tier 3 data centers to do AI compute, like hardcore actual AI compute to power large language models and inference and training. So it's a super exciting new era for HIVE. We just announced a 100 megawatt site in Paraguay as well to expand our Bitcoin mining. So yeah, we're deep in mining and blockchain, and we're making some waves in AI now, partner with NVIDIA.
Hello, hi everybody. I'm Whit, Dhamer, the founder and CEO of Delta. So Delta is, we started as a data center services and co-location provider for the Bitcoin mining industry. So, and with the advent of AI, we have pivoted, like many peers of ours, into providing GPU compute out of our data center. So they're hybrid use. They're all powered on renewable power. We are in Paraguay, where HIVE just arrived. And is a fantastic jurisdiction. Also in Brazil, where between these two geographies, renewable energy penetration is over 90%. So yeah, the power behind our data centers is a big part of our story. And now with AI, we've embraced computing for companies who need to power their models, but also the convergence of Web3. We have, for 9 months now, been very deep in the BitTensor ecosystem, and doing a lot of different things, non-physical activities, so software, digital products that are all being incubated in the BitTensor ecosystem. So excited to talk about that a little bit more on this panel.
Whit, maybe tell us more about how you ended up going from pure blockchain into the AI component. What was your journey? How did it start? What was your thought process when you got into it?
Well, our core business is the data centers. So, I mean, we understood AI to be a component of our business. Even before GPT came out, AI is part of compute for quite some time now. But I think we were surprised on how quickly, as everybody was, the advancement of the industry happened after GPT. And so at that point, we kind of intensed our focus on serving the industry and how can we play in AI. And we have a very strong development and engineering team. So we wanted to, and we understood the commodity business, right? So like Bitcoin is a commodity. I come from a background of commodities. GPU compute is commoditized as well. So we leaned in very heavily to Web3 and the integration of Web3 and AI and specifically in BitTensor to leverage the compute power that we have to basically, in an economic interest, to get more rewards or a higher return per hour on the GPUs that we have. So yeah, so a big part of our business has become working with companies like traditional data centers who have GPUs that they might be monetizing on different marketplaces in non-Web3 applications, and managing their GPUs to get a better return essentially on the hours. So yeah, that was I guess half of our pivot into AI is that part of our business now, this like mining as a service. But within BitTensor, I mean, it is just, and many of the, these similar protocols, there's just so much, intellectually stimulating, really interesting, probably very valuable technologies, products, things that are being developed. So we've gotten involved in a lot of different things apart from mining on BitTensor with GPUs. We're doing things in financial forecasting. So we have Bitcoin forecast models, which is very synergistic with our business, that are AI time series forecasting models. So that's one thing. And we've also gotten into validating on the platform as well, which is very familiar with a lot of our partners and stakeholders in the crypto space. So yeah, it's been a varied, interesting, and quick 9 months and foray into AI as for us.
Aydin, was it the same experience for HIVE?
It's Aydin, actually. So it's been actually a longer journey. And when we were mining Ethereum, in September 2022, the merge happened, right? As we're in the blockchain conference, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that Ethereum went from proof of work, where you use energy and hash power to validate blocks, to proof of stake, which is a totally different consensus mechanism that's code-driven. So what we did was we started by repurposing our GPUs and installing them in tier 3 data centers with super micro servers, which really unleash the power of the GPUs to perform AI compute. Now, just to gauge the audience, put your hand up if you've heard of ChatGPT. Okay? Now, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. Keep your hands up if you know what a large language model is. Okay, good. Keep your hands up if you know what a neural network is. Okay, good. We got a really good audience here. Okay, good. So, for the rest of you, I'm going to really quickly explain why our fleet of GPUs enables us, empowers us to be a leader in the AI space. So, the whole magic of large language models is really the concept of a neural network. It's from deep learning. It's a facet of computer science. So a neural network is many layers, right, of these matrices. And these matrices, essentially, when you pass a question through it, it does what's called a dot matrix multiplication on that data. And GPUs happen to have the perfect architecture to do matrix multiplication really, really quickly, right? And that NVIDIA used to be, made cards for gaming, for graphics. GPU stands for graphic processing unit. So really what's happened is, coincidentally, but very fortuitously, for NVIDIA, the architecture of the chips that they've been building for all these years are perfectly designed to do matrix multiplication, which allow large language training and large language inference to occur very quickly with GPUs. So what we do at HIVE is we build clusters of GPUs so people that want to rent a large, powerful cluster for hours or days or weeks can do that. And this is how we're enabling all of this AI compute to actually occur. So following that Ethereum merge, we started with 500 GPUs, and you talked about revenue per hour. And, Ethereum was I know this is not an investor conference, but as a publicly traded company, I can't help talk about profit, right? So Ethereum was like 4 times more profitable than Bitcoin per watt of energy, which was amazing, right? But AI is like 10 times more profitable than Bitcoin mining. So when you realize this, and when you're in the data center business, it becomes a really compelling business case, but at the same time, you are essentially creating a bedrock for the next wave of technological innovation, right? So what we're doing is, since we navigated the merge, we took our existing NVIDIA GPUs, built clusters in Montreal and Stockholm. We went from 500 GPUs to about almost 5,000 GPUs today. We're now planning for next year, when NVIDIA's Blackwell architecture ships, to upgrade our data centers to be able to run the world's latest and greatest GPU architecture, which is going to be 3 times more power dense than anything that exists today. So you're actually going to have to upgrade the data centers, not just running the nodes. So as the technology advances, you need to understand where you vertically integrate your business. And again, really simply, we're a data center business. We can run GPUs. We can upgrade our data centers for the next generation of GPUs. And then, of course, continue to mine Bitcoin. So it's sort of understanding how you fit in the ecosystem and you can deliver value, but also be on the cutting edge, because whether it's the complication of building these clusters or the complication of next generation data center requirements, you really have to innovate, right? And this is where I think we've done a really great job. And my whole team, by the way, all these hats that you see with the bees, that's HIVE. So big shout out to my team from all over the world that flew in from Canada, Texas, all over. Put your hands up, guys.
All right, and Johnny, I know it's a different experience for you. You had a different journey from the other two because you don't come from blockchain necessarily, but you came directly into AI.
Well, we're trying to sort out probably the biggest problem humanity has, which is climate change. So if you forget about everything, this one is bigger than everything. So there are no simple solution, and there is no one solution from one field. And we understood that very, very, very early in the process. And we knew that we have to have alongside with us people from the academia, and we have some of the brightest minds from carbon life cycle, blockchain, artificial intelligence, and the university we are working with are in top 3. I'm saying modestly top 3 in the world in their respective field. So very early on, we discovered that if we employ blockchain as an infrastructure, for example, for the business model and for transactions in visitor economy offsetting the carbon footprint, we need a large number of transactions per second. And the industry was not delivering that easily. So we had to research with Surrey Academy of Blockchain and Metaverse Application to find a suitable provider for us. And yes, we found it a few years back, and now it's working with us. It's Radix Foundation. It's Radix. So from that, we have large amounts of data when the model will mature, and we have not just one application for artificial intelligence, but multiple applications. So when you think that we aim to have green projects, how you design and select a green project, because a green project storing carbon has to last 100 years. What will happen in 100 years? Who will help us select the green projects? Then the blockchain, we invented a new consensus mechanism, which is powered by AI. As a subsystem of the entire mechanism, we have a carbon footprint calculator for visitor economy. And that is part financed, half by us, half by British government. So the state gives us money, and we already have the first module of the carbon footprint calculator. All the carbon footprint calculators on the market which are looking at travel and tourism are static. Ours is agile. Ours is capable of adapting, of self-learning, because we look at some services who are changing constantly and their conditions, so that you need AI. And in fact, our ambition is a little bit more than that, because having proving through academic research, we're in the prototype phase, that we can deliver a new type of doing business, incorporating carbon into the business cost of the transactions, and raising green funding from retail, not from companies, but individuals. We can expand this model into other industries, into finance, into banking, energy, whatever. So our way to AI was not following a hype. Oh, it's a nice word, AI, I've seen it, it's a trend today. No, we research and we're looking for solutions, and when the solutions do not exist on the market, and that happened a lot, we pushed the brightest minds in the field to develop for us what we want, and we do not compromise. I mean, when we start looking at blockchains, they're saying, that's the limit. Okay, the limit is not good enough for us. Develop more. And it's the same with AI. So everybody lives in his professional bubble, but the business partners should know how to approach the AI professionals, the blockchain professional, and take them out of their comfort zone and push them more for practical application, for real problems. So that's how we got to AI. We had real problems and we needed solutions.
That's a really exciting journey, and the fact that you've created everything from the ground up is pretty fantastic to hear.
You need to have a little bit of patience. You cannot do it really fast, and everybody wants to rush projects and get fast money. No, we have patience, and we want to get the job well done, not to come in front of our shareholders, investors, partners with a, let's say, half-done job.
To come back to the whole blockchain versus AI, it's not AI against blockchain. And as you properly brought up, Aydin, the AI has been around for much longer than blockchain has. It's just been called differently until now. It was machine learning, it was neural networks, it was big data even at one point. All of this took decades to get to the point where we are now, where we have this mass adoption and this traction and this usability for everyday operations. Is that where you see blockchain going as well, or is there a limitation that you see with blockchain and it can only succeed with the support of AI?
Well, I'm not afraid to say that I'm a little bit biased when it comes to blockchain because I'm a proof of work guy, right? So we are miners. I think that Bitcoin is the world's decentralized energy-backed currency that is the most secure ledger on the planet, right? You have gigawatts of power, millions and millions of ASIC computers processing 24/7 all around the world, which by the way is then further backed up by replication of approximately 18,000 Bitcoin nodes. So, you know, people might be doing private blockchains for their own internal thing, but when you look at like a globally decentralized blockchain, Bitcoin is it. But I'm the CEO of a Bitcoin mining company, so, you know, of course I'm going to say that. Now, when you talk about AI, I think it's worth noting too, just for everybody in the audience, ChatGPT is, you know, now it's ChatGPT 4, but the first ChatGPT came out in 2018. And nobody knew about it back then because nobody really cared. It wasn't that intelligent. And it was something like, you know, 100 million parameters, right? And then GPT-2 came out, and that was 1.5 billion parameters. And then ChatGPT-3 came out, and that was 175 billion parameters. And that's when people started taking notice. It's like, wow, this is starting to get smart enough. Think of every parameter in a large language model as like a neuron in your brain. And so ChatGPT 4 is rumored to have 1.8 trillion parameters, right? So it's been growing exponentially over the last 6 years. And so as we see that, much in the same way that it's interesting, when you think about the computer, right? Like what's the direction this is all going? You know, when IBM first started selling mainframes in the 60s, they sold like 5 globally because the only people that could afford it were government, and they took up like entire rooms. Now our iPhones that you're all holding in your hand filming me are more powerful than IBM's computers from whatever, 70 years ago. The point is, we see that large language models, as they become more powerful, will also be miniaturized. So the open source AI community is doing a lot of really exciting stuff where Meta, for example, has their open source Llama models, right? Llama 3, and they have an 8 billion parameter model, which isn't quite as smart as ChatGPT 4, but it's portable. So I think the future is large language models that can live on your phone. Because when you use ChatGPT, all you're doing is you're sending a web-based prompt to their centralized servers. It's not open source at all. Don't let OpenAI, the name, fool you. It's very closed source. So we're big advocates of the open source AI revolution, where researchers can fine-tune their own models. Companies can build their own specific models for their own use based on their own data and either make it available to their clients or for their own business intelligence, right? So in the same way that compute became democratized and miniaturized, so you can carry it with you anywhere, I think we'll see that with AI as well. And as for blockchain, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to grow, continue to get adopted, and I think the layer 2 technology is phenomenal, right? I think Lightning's awesome. I think all of these aspects of the Bitcoin ecosystem, not just miners, everything else happening in that ecosystem is phenomenal. And it's no surprise that the world's biggest asset managers are taking positions in Bitcoin. It's legal tender in El Salvador. You've got Donald Trump in America running for president, bought a burger with Bitcoin last week in New York City. He was at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville, you know, so I think it's a moment in time. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., by the way, he's the original Bitcoin presidential candidate. He debuted his campaign in Miami in 2020. It was awesome. So Bitcoin's a future for blockchain, but what do I know?
Yeah, here on RFK Jr., his speech in Miami was incredible. You should go back and watch that on YouTube. And Skip Donald Trump's speech was not quite as keen on and pointed on the merits of Bitcoin. But to answer your question, I would say, it's not blockchain or AI or blockchain only blockchain with AI. This is an and equation, right? Like I think I'm fully believer in blockchain and proof of work and the value that's created with that technology, as well as proof of stake projects as well. And I think now these Web3 AI projects are just another advancement in this technology. And I think it's all about finding really valuable projects in this space. And I hope that as the Web3 AI space continues to evolve, it only adds more valuable products into the global economy that bring more credibility to the blockchain space. Because I think where we struggle as an industry is obviously like the projects that are real, creating real value, versus that are just trying to make a quick buck, right? So I think I'm a firm believer in this space, the intersection of the two, and I think it's only going to help blockchain, and I think it's going to be a savior. To be a little overreaching with it, but I think it's true to some states on the future of AI. I mean, there's a lot of things that these decentralized AI protocols can address that the centralized behemoths of the AI that are emerging to dominate AI won't because of their interest. So I think there's huge potential for all of them, and I'm excited to be a part of it with Delta and see where it leads.
Okay, so my perspective would be a little bit different. So my personal perspective, I'm a little bit disappointed about the slow adaptation of blockchain technology into mainstream life of humans. I mean, it's still early days. We still don't have blockchain as a main infrastructure for transactions all over the world in all aspects of human life, in corporate governance. Even one of the co-panelists mentioned politics. I'm not into politics, but even in casting votes or whatever. So blockchain technology should be so much more than what it is today. And we are seeing this in our model. So what our carbon tokenomics model proposes using blockchain in conducting business and impacting everybody's life every day, not just some small population of crypto enthusiasts in some parts of the world. So blockchain should be everywhere. And I agree with them that AI is faster in being deployed around the world. It was mentioned ChatGPT. Yeah, it's a generative AI. I'm more impressed by evaluative AI, an AI which knows how to score and differentiate between very complex things. So that's even more complicated. And we're working with some people from Oxford who developed evaluative AI. So that's a stage higher than generative AI. So in short, what I think is that we're still early days with blockchain. It will become so much more, and the application should come not from the industry, but I'm looking in the backyard of my own house in business. We should engage the blockchain community more and demand more from the blockchain, not just to let them in their own bubble and bring new ideas into this bubble.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. We're coming to the end of our panel. Thank you again for our panelists. And if you have any questions, feel free to approach any of us at the end of this panel. Thank you.